You know this jump. I know this jump. We've all done it a million times. It's so iconic. You feel like there's nothing left to learn about it. But here's the thing that most people miss. The real story isn't just about stomping a Goomba. It's hidden in the code, born from the hardware limits that almost made the game impossible to create. You think you know 2D Mario, but from the very beginning, he was secretly rewriting the rules of gaming. To understand just how huge Super Mario Bros. Was in 1995, have to picture the world it landed in. The American video game industry had completely crashed. A flood of terrible games meant nobody trusted them anymore. And most gamers were repetitive, single-screen arcade machines designed to hit quarters. Nintendo's challenge was to prove a home console could be a huge adventure. They started by perfecting movement. Mario didn't just move at one speed, he had physics. That tiny slide when he landed wasn't a bug. It was a genius choice to give him weight and make him feel real. The game's continuous side-scrolling felt like a technical miracle, which the team pulled off using tech they'd first built for the motorcycle game, Excite Bike. But the true genius was how World Dash 1 taught you everything without a single world. A Goomba appears, instinctively jump, and boom, rewarded. In less than a minute, the game taught us the entire language of platformers. But after writing the blueprint, Nintendo immediately got weird. For the sequel, Nintendo of America wrote its brutally hard Japanese version, also known as Super Mario Bros. The last levels was a no-go. So, with Miyamoto's blessing, they took a quirky Japanese game called Doki Doki Panic and just slapped Mario into it. This became Super Mario Bros. 2 and introduced a huge new idea, picking stuff up. Suddenly, you could just pluck vegetables and even grab enemies like Shy Guys and Bob-ombs, who showed up here first. It also let you choose your character, like a floaty jumping Luigi or a hovering Princess Peach, which completely changed how you tackle levels. If that was the experiment, Super Mario Bros. 3 was the real masterpiece. This wasn't just a sequel, it was a total reinvention that blew up the formula to a scale nobody thought was possible on the NES. It began with the world map, which turned a simple list of stages into a grand strategic adventure with branching paths you could choose yourself. To even fit this ambition onto a tiny cartridge, the developers built a special MMC3 chip into the game itself. This custom hardware boosted the console's power, allowing for richer graphics, smoother diagonal scrolling, and animated tiles that made the world feel alive. And of course, it introduced a full world of game-changing suits. You didn't just wear a fire flower. You got a frog suit for dominating water levels, the hammer suit to fight fire with fire, and the iconic super leaf. This wasn't just a high jump, it was true sustained flight. A mechanic so revolutionary, it forced them to design bigger, more vertical levels just to contain the possibilities. After the NES games, the pressure was insane. How did you follow that up? With the power of the 16-bit Super Nintendo Entertainment System, Super Mario World delivered. It took the map from Super Mario Bros. 3 and turned it into a single giant interconnected world. But the real genius, the thing that kept us all up at night, was the secret exits. For the first time, tons of levels had a second hidden goal. You would find a key and a keyhole, and suddenly a new path would open up on the map, leading to hidden levels or entire shortcuts. The game had 96 total exits, and finding all 24 secret ones became a massive playground obsession. The goal wasn't to beat the game anymore, it was to find everything. And then there was Yoshi. Shigeru Miyamoto had wanted Mario to ride a dinosaur pal since the very first game, but the old NES hardware just couldn't handle it. With the SNES, his vision came to life. Yoshi wasn't just another power-up, he was your partner. He could eat enemies, gain powers from shells, and take a hit for you. He added a whole other strategic layer. And with the obsession over secret exits, Super Mario World created the blueprint for 100% in completioning mindset that would define games for years to come. And while all this was happening on a console, a totally separate evolution was taking place in our pockets. The Game Boy games were weird and wonderful. Super Mario Land was a quirky Miyamoto free zone with strange new worlds and characters, while its hit sequel, Super Mario Land 2, gave us Mario's greedy rival, Wario. Then, during the console's draw, the Game Boy Advance kept the 2D flame burning. The Super Mario Advance series re-released the NES and SNES classics with enhanced graphics and new features, keeping the legacy alive for a whole new generation on the go. After Super Mario World, 2D Mario on home consoles went dark for a surprisingly long time. For over a decade, it seemed like side-scrollers were nothing but a thing of the past. When it finally returned in 2006 with the new Super Mario Bros. On the DS, it wasn't just a comeback, it was a phenomenon. The game was a massive success, selling over 30 million copies and becoming the best-selling game on the entire DS platform, single-handedly proving that 2D platforming was far from dead. It did this by blending that classic feeling with crucial modern upgrades. For the first time, moves from 3D Mario like the ground pound, triple jump, and roll jump were brought into a 2D game, giving Mario a full fluid and acrobatic moveset. It also introduced brilliant new power-ups that played with scale. The mini mushroom lets you shrink out to access tiny hidden pipes, while the mega mushroom lets you become a screen-clearing giant, destroying everything in your path. It was the perfect fusion of old and new. But the biggest change came with the Wii version, which introduced 4-player co-op. This was pure chaotic fun. Bouncing off your friends' heads to reach a higher platform, accidentally knocking them into a pit, fighting over a power-up, it was a completely new way to experience Mario. It brought the frenetic energy of an arcade game right into the living room. For a while, this was the new formula, a perfect blend of classic design and multiplayer madness. But after a few more games, the new series started to feel a little too familiar, a little too safe. It was time for another change. To solve the problem of a predictable formula, Nintendo decided it was time to break their own rules once again. And that break came in 2023 with Super Mario Bros. Wonder. The solution was the Wonder Flower, a single item designed purely to cause chaos and bring back the sense of total surprise. Touch one and the entire level just goes sideways. Pipes start wiggling around like inchworms. A stampede of bulls might charge through the screen, or you could even turn into a Goomba. The development team came up with over 2,000 ideas for these moments, showing just how committed they were to unpredictability. This was a complete shift in thinking, where older Mario games were about mastering predictable patterns. Wonder was built to actively defy our expectation. It was a volcanic eruption of new ideas, and it proven that even after almost 40 years, the 2D Mario framework could still feel brand new. So, when you step back and look at the whole journey, it's pretty mind-blowing. From the NES trilogy that literally invented the language of modern games to the sprawling world of secrets in Super Mario World, from the chaotic fun of bringing friends along in the new era to the courage it took up to tear their own rulebook with Wonder, the pattern is undeniable. With each 2D Mario game, Nintendo was solving a new problem, and in the process, secretly building the foundation for the entire video game industry. It's like Mario is a living history of game design itself. The jumps, the power-ups, the secrets, they became the vocabulary of how we play, and this is his most enduring legacy. Anyways, this is my opinion, but I genuinely want to know what you think. What do you believe is the most important innovation in 2D Mario, and which game in this legendary series is your all-time favorite? Let me know in the comments. Also, if you enjoyed this clip, I would also really appreciate it if you could like and subscribe. I was David. Bye. Have a nice day.